Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. We have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen.
You know, I usually stay out of these conversations, but with Caitlin Clark, I can't stay silent anymore.
But my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
One of basketball's all-time legends watches the WNBA's brightest young star get targeted on the court, and he can't stay quiet about it. That's exactly what happened. LeBron James just dropped a bombshell reaction to Brittney Griner's actions against Caitlin Clark, and it's got the entire basketball world talking. Quick question for you. Have you ever watched an athlete get treated the way Caitlin Clark has been treated this season? Because what LeBron saw during that Connecticut Sun game changed everything about how he views the WNBA right now. And this part of his response, it puts Brittney Griner in a really tough spot. Here's the thing. LeBron's been in Caitlin's shoes before. Back when he was the best player on the floor, night after night, opponents couldn't keep up with his skill. So instead, some tried to rattle him physically. LeBron knows that game, and he called it out immediately. That's where this story takes a turn for Brittney Griner. LeBron made it clear, there's a difference between hard, physical, championship-level basketball, and what he says he witnessed on that court. His exact words, "The most cowardly act I've seen on a basketball court in decades." Yeah, you heard that right. If you're enjoying this, drop a like and hit subscribe. Over 80% of you watching haven't yet, and it costs nothing but a second of your time. Did you subscribe? Awesome. Let's get back into it.
I watched them all the time. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa. Caitlin Clark play about the same last year, so I've watched a lot of basketball.
Like, can we get Caitlin Clark a little protection out?
Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time.
Something happened on a basketball court that made LeBron James speak out in a way nobody expected. He watched the footage. Brittney Griner striking Caitlin Clark from behind, right as she was still recovering from getting poked in the eye. And LeBron didn't stay quiet. He reacted fast, and he reacted hard. Now think about who we're talking about here. This is a man who battled some of the toughest, dirtiest enforcers the NBA has ever seen. Guys like Dennis Rodman. Guys who made a career out of physical intimidation. If anyone understands real competitive fire, it's LeBron. But even he looked at what Griner did and called it exactly what it was, a violation of everything sportsmanship is supposed to stand for. And here's the part that's really got people talking. It wasn't just what Griner did. It was when she did it. Right now, Brittney Griner is not happy about what LeBron had to say, because he brought up something a lot of fans have been quietly thinking for a while, but nobody with his kind of platform had actually said it out loud. There's a massive difference between playing tough, physical defense and taking a cheap shot at someone who's exposed, distracted, and not even looking. LeBron pointed out that his own era in the NBA was considered one of the most brutal in basketball history. Elbows, hard fouls, real physical warfare. But even then, there was a code. If you had a problem with someone, you didn't wait until their back was turned. You stepped up and faced them. That's the difference between competing and predatory behavior. And according to LeBron, that's exactly the line Brittney Griner crossed. For right now, this single moment has completely wrecked how people are viewing Brittney Griner. And it didn't stop there. What made things worse was how Griner responded after the fact. Instead of owning it, instead of even acknowledging she might have gone too far, she played the victim. She claimed the media and fans were coming after her unfairly. "Damned if I do, damned if I don't," she said. And that response, it reportedly made LeBron even angrier. Because according to LeBron, the truly great competitors, the legends, the winners, always take accountability for their actions, especially when those actions put another player in real danger. When he saw Griner dodge criticism and play the victim card, he said it reminded him of something else entirely. Players who deep down know they can't compete at the highest level, so they find other ways to affect the game. Dirtier ways. In other words, LeBron basically said Griner doesn't have the skill to match Clark, so she found another method to make an impact. Now here's where things shift, and where LeBron's real message starts to come through. Because underneath all of this is something LeBron clearly respects deeply, Caitlin Clark herself. He sees in her the exact same traits that made him one of the greatest to ever play the game. Elite basketball IQ. the ability to hit impossible shots when the moment matters most, and most importantly, the ability to elevate everyone around her on the floor. But as someone who cares about the integrity of the sport, LeBron also sees something troubling. Instead of focusing purely on her game, on unlocking her full potential, Clark constantly has to watch her back for cheap shots and dirty plays. And LeBron says that's exactly what's wrong with how some players are approaching her. Rather than working to match her skill level, rather than putting in the reps and preparation it would take to actually compete with her, some players are choosing a shortcut. They're targeting her when she's at her most vulnerable. And LeBron didn't hold back. He called it the worst thing he's ever witnessed in competitive basketball. Naturally, once comments like that get out, the entire basketball world lit up. LeBron went even further, drawing a direct line between what Clark is dealing with now and what he personally experienced early in his own career, being physically targeted, tested, and worn down by opponents who couldn't beat him any other way. But he made sure to frame Clark's situation with real context, too. He pointed out that Clark is only in her 20s, and she's already carrying more pressure and more adversity than most athletes face across an entire career. On top of that, she's doing it while being the single most recognizable face in all of women's basketball. Then LeBron said something that really set social media on fire. He suggested that if the WNBA continues to let players like Griner go after its biggest stars without real consequences, it sends a dangerous message. It tells average or struggling players that dirty tactics are an acceptable way to stay relevant, instead of putting in the work to actually improve. He warned this creates a bad precedent, one that could discourage the very players who are raising the level of competition in the league. LeBron even argued that failing to properly address these incidents does a disservice to young fans watching at home. Because instead of learning about skill, dedication, and sportsmanship, kids are learning that targeting your opponent is just part of the game. But here's the part of LeBron's message that might matter most of all, his outlook on Clark's future. He said, despite everything she's facing, adversity has only shaped her into a stronger competitor. Every cheap shot, every dirty play, every attempt to rattle her. According to LeBron, all of it is only fueling her determination to prove her dominance the right way, through pure skill. He compared it directly to his own rookie year, when opponents tested him physically at every turn, trying to see if he'd crack. He pointed out that Clark isn't just dealing with physical targeting. She's doing it while under a level of media scrutiny and pressure that no other player in WNBA history has ever faced. That's why LeBron's support for her carries so much weight. He's not just defending one talented athlete. He's defending the identity of the sport itself. In his eyes, Caitlin Clark represents everything basketball is supposed to be: skill, vision, class, and real competitive fire. And in players like Griner, he sees the exact opposite. Something that, if left unchecked, could actually damage the game long-term. LeBron made it clear the WNBA is standing at a crossroads right now. There are really only two paths forward. Either the league keeps allowing weaker competitors to lean on questionable tactics to stay in the spotlight, or it steps up, protects its biggest stars, and lets players like Clark push the sport to new heights. Whichever direction they choose is going to shape the league's future for years to come. So now the real question everyone's asking is this: will the WNBA actually listen to what LeBron is warning them about? Or will they keep allowing this kind of behavior to slide, letting it chip away at the league's reputation over time? Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think LeBron's criticism of Griner is completely justified? Or do you think he's overreacting to a normal part of physical basketball? And more than anything, do you think the WNBA will actually step in to protect its biggest name? As this story keeps developing, one thing is becoming impossible to ignore. This isn't just about a single foul or one heated moment on the court anymore. This is about the future of women's basketball as a whole. It's about the standard the league wants to set and how it treats its biggest stars when the whole world is watching. Very few athletes have ever walked into a league carrying the kind of expectations Clark has. Millions of eyes are on every single game she plays. Every move she makes gets analyzed from every possible angle. Every big moment gets celebrated, and every mistake becomes a headline. That's simply what it means to be one of the most talked about names in basketball today. Meanwhile, veteran players across the league are still competing at an elite level, bringing years of grit, pride, and hard-earned experience into every matchup. So the real challenge for the WNBA is finding the balance, keeping the competition fierce and physical without letting it cross into something dangerous or unnecessary. Fans want intensity. They want real rivalries. They want to see genuine, hard-fought basketball, but they also want fairness. They want accountability. They want respect for the players putting their bodies on the line every night. And that's exactly why LeBron's comments have sparked such a massive conversation. This is a man who has lived through pressure most athletes will never understand. Across his career, he faced some of the toughest defenders and most physical opponents the sport has ever produced. But his message here goes beyond toughness. It's about protecting the integrity of the game, making sure basketball stays about skill and competition, not controversy. Whether you fully agree with LeBron or think this whole situation is being blown out of proportion, one thing is certain: people are talking. Fans, analysts, former players, media personalities. Everyone seems to have a different take on what should happen when the league's biggest stars become targets on the court. Should referees be calling things tighter? Should the league be handing out harsher penalties? Or is this simply part of playing at the professional level? Through all of it, Caitlin Clark's response has stayed the same. She hasn't let the controversy, the physical play, or the criticism define her. She keeps showing up. She keeps competing. And she keeps proving exactly why so many people believe she represents the future of this sport. That consistency, that refusal to back down, is a huge reason her fan base keeps growing stronger. The WNBA right now is getting more attention than maybe ever before. Conversations online are multiplying by the day. Arenas are selling out. Ratings are climbing. New fans are discovering women's basketball for the first time because of moments exactly like this one. And that means incidents like this don't just affect one player or one team. They shape how the entire league is perceived around the world. As the season rolls on, every single game is going to matter more. Every Clark appearance will be watched closely. Every controversial play will be picked apart. Every referee decision will be questioned. And each one of these moments is adding another chapter to what's already shaping up to be one of the most talked about seasons in WNBA history. So here's what we really want to know from you. Do you think LeBron's comments accurately reflect what's happening in the league right now? Do you believe the WNBA is doing enough to protect its stars while still allowing real, physical competition? And where do you think this all leads? For BRITTNey Griner, for Caitlin Clark, and for the league as a whole. So drop your honest thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think LeBron got this one right? Or do you think he's reading too much into a single play? I genuinely want to know what real basketball fans think, because this conversation only works when people like you show up and speak your mind. Every comment gets read, and honestly, some of the best takes end up shaping exactly what we cover next. So don't hold back. Agree, disagree, argue with someone else in the comments. That's what makes this community different. And if this breakdown kept you hooked, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on the notification bell too, because this story is nowhere near finished. There's more coming, more reactions, more legends weighing in, more twists nobody's expecting. If you want to be the first to know the moment something new drops about Caitlin Clark, the WNBA, or the NBA legends who keep speaking up about it, notifications are the only way you won't miss it. Basketball history isn't waiting for anyone. It's being written right now, tonight, in real time. And trust me, what happens next in this story might end up being even bigger than everything we just talked about. So don't walk away from this. Stay locked in, hit subscribe, turn on those alerts, and get ready, because the next chapter is coming, and you're going to want to be there when it drops.